Good day everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to use Google API to access your Google Drive files via Python program. Don't forget to like and subscribe. To start, I will open my browser and navigate to Google API. I will leave in the description the link of the Google API. Next is you will need to go to Enabled APIs and Services and click Enable APIs and Services here above. Search for Google Drive and select Google Drive API. For this case, I have already enabled my Google Drive API, but if you have not enabled it on your end, there is a button here, Enable. Just click it. Let's go back to APIs and Services. Next is go to Credentials. Take note there are two ways to access your or to use your Google Drive API. One is through OAuth and the other one is through Service Account. For this case, I'll be using OAuth 2.0 since Service Account has problem with regards to uploading and deleting data in your Google Drive. So far, I have tested OAuth 2.0 and there is no problem with with uploading and deleting. So to continue, go to Create Credentials, choose OAuth Client 2.0, then select Web Application. So let's name this Tutorial 2. Then add your authorized JavaScript origins. So for this case, I will use localhost 5140. Excuse me. Then for authorized redirect URIs, I will use localhost 5050 and 127.50.50. Click create, and it says here OAuth client is created. Take note to download the JSON file, this one, since we will be using it to generate another token. Click OK. Next is go to here. You can see a OAuth 2.0, our new OAuth 2.0 client ID has been created. Name Tutorial 2. Next is go to OAuth consent screen. And go to branding. Type the name of your app, the user support email. You can also add logo if you want. Then add the developer contact information. Note that this OAuth screen will appear whenever you try to use your Google Drive API, since Google will ask permission to allow this app to access your Google Drive. Next is click Agents. Then be sure that your app is in testing mode. Then add user. In this case, I already added my email. Next is go to data access. Here you can add or remove scope. Scope means what can this app do to your Google Drive. For this case, I have already set this to be able to delete files from or items from my Google Sheet, and I had already set this one to create, edit, and delete files from my Google Drive C as well. So far, I think that's okay. This is the setup for your Google API. Next is we will go to the JSON file we downloaded earlier. So this is the file we downloaded from Google API. Let's rename this one to some file with shorter name. Let's call this cred. Then next is we will create our Python application. To do that, I will go to my tutorials and tutorial. I will open terminal here. I will open Visual Studio Code. I will also move the creds.json in our tutorial project. Then next is I will create my Python application. Let's call it gdrive.py, and let's open it. So our first goal is to generate another token for OAuth authentication. To do that, I will need to import OS, then use installed app flow and provide some scope of this application. So I will create a variable called scope. It is an array. Then I will set the scope to read only. Here. Sorry. Then next is I will create a method to generate our authentication file. So to do that, I will create the function get serve auth serve, then declare a variable gdrive creds. So I will use this later. Then for the meantime, I'll be pasting some lines of code, then I will explain it later of what are the purpose of such codes. So for the meantime, let me paste them first. And here. This. So the purpose of this code is to check if we have already generated our OAuth.json. So if it was already generated, get credentials from that JSON file. The next is we will check if this gdrive credential not equal to null, or is valid. If it is, check if it is expired, and if it is, refresh it. Otherwise, we will need to create our auth.json. For this case, we still don't have our auth.json, so it will use the credential of the OAuth ID we created earlier. Then if it successfully created the credential, it will save it in OAuth.json. So take note, write will create the OOT.json file if it does not exist. Next is we will build the service, and let's try to use this method. So we will call it get drive outside. Then in our terminal, let's create first our virtual environment. So to do that, wait, let's use the other terminal. Then let's try to run our gdrive.py. So take note that I encountered an error with regards to indentation. So to fix this, let me try to copy the method from my reference material as to simply fix the indentation. For this case, I tried to print the created credential. So I will just comment this as to protect my Google Drive, since this video will be posted in YouTube. Then let's try to run it again. This time we have another error. It says Google Auth lib not installed, so we will install sorry, I forgot the proper name of the method. So here, let us install autlib. So let's try again to run. Scope is defined in scopes. Here. Next is creds. Okay, here cred, so there's a mistake. As you can see, there is a screen that pops out asking us to grant this app to access our Google Drive. This is the auth screen I mentioned earlier. So to continue, let's select our account, and YouTube tutorials already accessed. We'll try continue, and it's completed. As you can see, it created the OOT.json. So next is we will use that OOT.json to access our Google Drive. Then to do that, let's create a method called getFileList, and I will create a try-catch block, create a service from our getGDriveOutServe. Next is I will use that service to get files from file list from my Google Drive. Next is I will get the files from my results, and I will declare an array, since I will be reformatting the output based on the data I needed. Since I'll be needing to number my items, I will declare a counter. Then I will use a for loop to loop to each element from items and create my own dictionary. My dictionary will contain number, which is just a counter. Name is the name of the file. ID is the ID, its ID in Google Drive. MIME type is the type of file. Next is I will return the result. For this case, since we will not use this method to return a value, we'll first print the resulting items, result list. Here. Then let's try to call our method get file list. Sorry, we will need to provide our except block. Error as well. And let's try to run it again. HTTP error. The name HTTP error is not defined, so probably it is due to missing imports. So let's try to import HTTP error, and it says here Google API client is not installed. So let me try to quickly search the name. So you will need to install Google API Python client. Next is let's try to run it again. So here, this is the Python module that you need to install. Next is let's try to run it. Credentials is not defined. It says here credential is not defined at credentials. Where did I use credentials? Credentials. This is from Google OO2 credentials. Here, let's try to add that. Let's try again. It says here build is not defined as well, so we'll need to add build. Then here, as you can see, it successfully retrieved data from our Google Drive. So let's try to check this one. Let's search the file motorcycle inspection. So I will open my Google Drive and look for that file. As you can see, motorcycle inspection is listed. Now, next part is we will use this method or this library to our Python Flask application. So to do that, I will need to create another file called app.py. Then here, I will create a simple Flask application. And let's paste the boilerplate code for Flask. And let's try to start Flask. Then let's go to our browser. Let's open port 2140. Here we have successfully created our simple Flask application. Let's go back to our app.py and we will need to import Flask here, in which it's already done. Next is we will need to import our G drive here, G drive module, and next is we will create an endpoint for retrieving our list of files from Google Drive. So I will call that endpoint file list. We will create a method for it, file list. Next is we will return G drive that file list. For this case, it will look better if we will format it as JSON. So we will first return it as item list, or place it in the variable item list. Then we'll return the JSON version of it, JSON file list item list. Then we'll need to import JSONify as well. Let's try to run again our Flask application here. Then so it printed here the result, since we forgot to instead of returning, we print it, so we will return it here, return list. So let's try to start it again. Then go to our browser and let's navigate to file list. Here, as you can see, we have successfully retrieved the list of files from our Google Drive. In the next tutorial, I will be showing you how to view such files in our browser using our Python and Google Drive API. Thank you for watching and happy coding. See you in the next tutorial.